Yeah, that
Was it Saturn? I kept thinking that was PS1.
Maybe it's just because it was so shit.
But that had FMV, right?
It did.
Yeah, there were lots of weird FMV games on Saturn. Saturn was kind of like the transition between 3DO and PlayStation. It had its own 3D.
Was that PS1?
That was N64.
That was N64. Yeah. Jesus,
Shark is all over the place. But I think one of the big things that PS1 did is it actually made role playing games a really viable genre, and that Final Fantasy VII is the cause of that. And
it was the keystone.
It was, definitely. And you tricked a lot of people into buying it because at the time I worked at retail at EB, and the commercial was so good.
The commercial was all FMV.
Everybody came in, and the game sold like nuts, and it had a lot of returns too because people didn't know what it was. They didn't know it was an RPG. I famously remember one guy returning it, and we'd always have to ask them why you're returning this game. It was, there was a reason you had to fill in on the receipt.
Sure.
And he was like, well, I didn't know this game had reading in it.
Yeah.
And this guy was like at least 21 years old. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't read very well. Like, I did live in Kentucky.
Oh, America.
Well, so do you think that worked to their advantage though? Like kind of tricking people into taking it home and then, obviously I have to read. So
the people who were patient enough to read a video game. I mean, there was like Mr. T calling someone a jackass. That's kind of awesome in itself right there. Like that pulled in a lot of people, I think. But then they realized, this is a pretty good genre. And then most RPGs that came after were actually better than Final Fantasy VII. So it just kept getting better.
Well, and we got tons of games we never would have got. I mean, I still remember the day that like Persona came out. And I was like, wow, the fact this game is coming out in America.
Well, how many RPGs were there before Final Fantasy VII?
Very few.
On the PS1. I mean just nothing.
In the Super Nintendo days, RPGs
was Wild Arms before or after?
Wild Arms was definitely before.
And so,
and it had light sourcing, so it was better.
3D battles.
Like 3 frames a second.
Wild Arms is shit.
Wild Arms is it was made by people with Final Fantasy VI envy.
Well, I think it was people who'd seen Final Fantasy VII and like were just trying to quickly copy it.
They saw the N64 battle simulator, and they really liked Final Fantasy VI.
No.
They were like, "How can we do both of these? I know. Let's make Wild Arms."
In fact, there's so many RPGs on PlayStation 1 that over the years, I'd buy them all because I love RPGs, but I had a stack of literally 40 PS1 RPGs that I'd never played.
Do you still have them?
I do, and
because they're worth so much money.
I do. I have a copy of Suikoden 2 that's still shrink wrapped. That's
my god.
Anyway, so like 5 years ago,
why are you working for a living?
When I first moved out here, my goal was to play all of them. I had this idea of like the ultimate PlayStation 1 Vision Quest where I would like play them all and like and know everything about RPGs on PS1.
That's kind of scary because I had the same goal, and then after a while I realized maybe not.
Well, and I was playing through them in chronological order. So actually, I beat Wild Arms.
Beyond the Beyond.
I beat Beyond the Beyond. I beat Wild Arms. I beat Alundra. I made it 90% of the way through Saga Frontier, and I think that's the one. Man. That's the one that killed me. I was like, I can't.
That would do it.
Yeah, there was a while
by 90% of the way through. You mean like you played all the characters?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. I'm sorry to myself for making myself do that.
Okay.
How old are you?
Like 140 hours.